Okay, guys, let's start this session now. Hello, guys. Good morning and welcome you all in this AI 102 session. Myself, Archie this side, and I'm your host for this session. Guys, if you have any question and queries, please put question on chat box. We will be there to help you out. Let's let's moving ahead and talking about our event sponsor, that is Synergetics. So Synergetics is an India one of kind co-porting learning solution company. Now you will get a question like who we are and what we're doing. So answering your question, we boost our offering and also give comprehensive advisory service to client who wish to modernize their framework. We educate, advise, implement, and manage. Then the synergetic solution offering, that is persona-based onboarding solution, onboarding add-on, certification solution, certification add-on, reskilling solution, emerging technology training solution, certification hackathon solution, cloud adoption solution, latest technology training solution, sales and pre-sales training solution, practice playbook solution, and architecting solution. And what this Microsoft certification training does, it will give you complete learning experience. You will get trained, build confidence to appear for the exam and get certified. This is skilling journey. Here you can advance yourself. First, you have to complete fundamental certification. Then you can go with the advanced role based certification. Then expert level certification. In fundamental level certification, we have Azure Fundamental, Azure AI Fundamental, Azure Data Fundamental, Power Platform Fundamentals, and Security and Identity Fundamentals. In associate level certification, we have many types of certification you can see on my screen. Then expert level certification, we have AZ305, SC100, PL600, and AZ400. Special certification, that is AZ120, AZ140, AZ220. If you want any certification, you can connect with us. We already share contact details on chat box. Then certification offering. So certification will help you to increase your visibility, expand your knowledge and skills. We do provide certification add-on, onboarding add-on like short duration modules and more. Then moving ahead, today training is organized and handled by the ATC community. So but ATC community is open to all the people who are interested in our cloud technology and various emerging technology. Under ATC community, we have emerging technology community for all. Then Azure Tech community for Punekars. Emerging technology community for Surat. Azure Tech community for Nagpurkars. Guys, you just have to install the Meetup app and you can follow our communities there. Then you have to follow the code of conduct, which will create a respectful environment for all the participants. Guys, please note that participants are not allowed to take screenshot of the presentation and cannot do screen recording. We will try to upload this training on our official YouTube channel. Today's speaker for this trainer, Mr. Sonu Satyadas. He is a Microsoft certified trainer and currently works with Synergetics as a practice head. Agenda for this webinar, you will get to know more about the topic and benefit of it. Also, you can read the agenda. In this session, we are providing you AI 102 Learning Achievement Badge. You just have to follow the step and you will get the activated badge. Guys, don't forget to follow us on our social media platform like LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube for upcoming event updates. Thank you for my side. And now I would like to hand over the mic speaker for this. He's continue ahead.
Okay, thank you, Archie. Good morning, everyone. I hope I am audible to all of you. Okay, so, can someone confirm whether I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So today's session is on AI 102, and we will be focusing a particular module that is generative AI solutions using Azure OpenAI. But before we get started with this module, I just want to give a brief idea about this course. This course is a persona based course designed for AI engineers. So that means those who wants to become an AI engineer, or those who wants to build and deploy the AI solutions using the Microsoft Azure AI services, they can join this course. In this course, primarily we have 6 modules, but it's not possible for us to cover all the modules in this session. But we will be focusing on a particular module called Gen AI Solutions using Azure OpenAI. If you are new to the AI services, I recommend you to go and learn the fundamental certification modules available on Microsoft Learn. The AI 900 is the fundamental certification. So you can get the learning modules in the Microsoft Learn website for free. So that fundamental course will give you the understanding of what is AI, what is machine learning, what is deep learning, what are the types of ML models. Okay, so those kind of fundamental understanding about the AI ecosystem you will get once you complete the AI 900. And this is an intermediate level certification, or you can say associate level certification. Sorry. In this, we will be focusing primarily the Azure AI services. Yes, we know that there are hundreds of AI services available in the internet or in the technologies landscape, but this course is focusing only on the AI services offered by Microsoft, and they are available on the Azure cloud platform. So before getting into the generative AI module, I will take you through the fundamental module just to give an update what is AI and what are the different services available on the Azure. And then we will start with the generative AI module. So artificial intelligence, I think all of you must be aware what is AI does. So it is an application or a service just mimicking the human capabilities like visual perception, text analysis, conversation, or decision making. So, for example, if you take an image or if you give an image as an input, it can tell you what are the different objects identified in this image. It can generate a caption about that image. It can identify the tags about this image. If there is some human faces, it can detect the human faces from the image. So these all vision related AI services. But if you are uh, handling the text data like text translation, language detection, or sentiment analysis, key phrase detection, or entity recognition. So these kind of text related functionalities, if you are handling, then we can say it is text analysis service in the AI space. So AI you can also use to create conversational AI agents like a chatbots, and in chatbots we can infuse various AI services like a Q&A maker for answering the user's questions from a knowledge base, or you can use CLU, that is conversational language understanding, to understand what is the user intent and then update or inform the backend system to execute that action. For example, if the user is saying, okay, can you book a ticket? So then the system has to understand what the user is trying to do. So he wants to do a ticket booking. So it will tell the backend system to do the ticket booking for the user, right? So this kind of artificial intelligence services are available today, and all these AI technologies backed by data science and machine learning. So data science is an important pillar because without data, we cannot train the AI models. All the AI models, whether it is a machine learning model or it's a deep learning model, we need to train these models with millions and millions of data so that the model can understand the data patterns and do some predictions based on the data. So internally, it uses some kind of mathematical or statistical analysis and doing some predictions. But when it comes to deep learning, it will be using some artificial neural networks for handling the complex data like audio, images, text kind of things. So, artificial intelligence is a general term that can use the machine learning models or deep learning models or generative AI models, so which we can infuse inside our application. For example, if you are building an application, you can invoke the AI services or you can integrate this AI services into the application, whether it is a simple machine learning model for predictions or it's a deep learning model for some complex AI solutions, or it can be a generative AI solution for generating the image and text data. This AI services can be integrated into the applications using uh, the SDK or REST API. So if you are an AI developer, you can integrate this AI solutions or AI services within your application using the SDK, which is available for various languages, or you can use the REST APIs. Means if you uh, don't find any uh, compatible SDK for the programming language that you handle, then you can directly consume them using the REST APIs. So you can even integrate the DevOps solutions with the AI applications and services. Not only the applications you can deploy using the DevOps, even the machine learning models or the large language models which is used in uh, generative AI can also be deployed using the DevOps solutions. It's called ML Ops or LLM Ops and so on. So one important thing which you need to understand while uh, working with the AI services, primarily the model training and inferencing. Suppose you are Building a custom AI model, it is your responsibility to train the model with ample amount of data. So you need to train the data with train the model with the data that that may be available in internet, or it may be available in your organization's repository. So once the training is completed, you can evaluate and test the models. So you need to go and evaluate the models to verify whether this model is generating the results accurately. So there are different evaluation parameters we can use for that. And suppose if you are consuming the pre-trained models, which is provided by Microsoft or any other provider, you can directly consume these models without evaluations, because you these models are already published by the providers like Microsoft after they have been trained and evaluated, so that you can directly consume these models. So there are different evaluation parameters like probability and confidence score, like F1 score. Okay, so recall rate. Okay, so all these are parameters for evaluating these models. That means if you are building your own AI models, you need to go and evaluate the models before putting them into production. And very important aspect in the AI development is following the responsible AI principles. So every AI provider is following the responsible AI principles, or they have a set of responsible AI principles designed so that the customers need to follow that AI principles, or the AI developers needs to follow that AI principles. These AI principles or responsible AI principles can be a fairness, reliability and safety, privacy and security, inclusiveness, transparency, and accountability. So that I'm not going into the details of each and every service. So simply the fairness says that there should not be any bias. That means if you are building an application, it has to treat everyone in the same way. Reliability and safety simply says the AI system that you build should be reliable and safe. For example, if you are creating a driverless car, so you are using artificial intelligence models to drive the vehicle. But if the model is not reliable and safe, then you can think about the safety of the passengers who travel in that vehicle, right? So it has to be properly tested before implementation. Privacy and security talks about the privacy of users' data. So user may be providing some sensitive data like a PII, that is personally identifiable informations such as credit card numbers, email, phone number, or maybe the social security numbers, identity numbers, and so on. So how the AI system is handling this data? If the AI system is exposing this data to public, then you can say there is no privacy and security for the AI systems. So, as an AI developer, you have to follow certain guidelines for handling such sensitive data. Inclusiveness talks about that the AI system should include everyone, or it should consider every type of user. That means if you are creating an AI application, that can be used only by the users who have vision capability. For example, if a person don't have eyes or he is blind, but he cannot use the AI application, then you can say there is no inclusiveness. So what we can do, We can include such people by adding the audio capabilities. Suppose if the person is not able to interact with the text data, he should be able to interact with the audio commands. So that means you can say that your application is considering all types of users, means it is including all type of users. So that is what inclusiveness. Transparency simply means whatever decisions the AI system takes, it should be transparent. For example, if there is uh, an AI model that will help you to identify the share market or the shares where you can invest, or they can do the mutual funds or the shares, and it will give you some suggestions. But the question is how these AI models are doing the suggestions. It randomly picks some shares or some what stocks and then telling, okay, you can invest here, or it will do some calculations before suggesting. So the user should know how it is doing this prediction. Like it may be analyzing the last 5 years of data, and based on that data, it will be suggesting, okay, you can buy this share or you should not buy this share. So it should be transparent what the AI system is doing. Accountability simply means your AI system, if it is creating or if it is making some kind of issues, who is responsible for that or who is accountable for that? Is it the AI user or AI developer or the developer who consume this AI services? So there should be proper guidelines to define who is accountable for the activities of this AI models. The Azure Machine Learning is a service offered by Azure for building such AI solutions. Suppose if you want to build your own machine learning models from the scratch, you can use a tool or service called a machine learning. The Azure Machine Learning is a service that provides you all the required services, including the compute, base models, data sets, and so on, so that you will be able to create your own models. You can evaluate and test the models, and you can even publish the models as a service. So, if you want to build your own custom models from scratch, you can choose the Azure Machine Learning service. And another set of services which is available in Azure is the cognitive services, which is now called as Azure AI services. So if you see, there are different categories of AI models or pre-trained models available on Azure. So Microsoft has already created and published different AI models for different scenarios. Suppose if you want to handle the text data, there are some AI models which can do that operations. Or if you want to handle the image and video, there are some AI models which is available for that. Or if you want to handle the audio data, you can see some models for that as well. Okay, even generative AI models also available on Azure. What is generative AI? We'll discuss later. Along with these pre-trained models like text analytics, question answering, translation, CLU, speech recognition, speech synthesis, speech translation, speaker recognition, image analysis, that is computer vision, custom vision, face API, and Gen AI, that is Open AI. There are some additional services provided by Azure for building the AI solutions. Like we can call them as applied AI services, like AI search and document intelligence services. So The Azure AI ecosystem is very large. It will provide you the machine learning service. If you want to build the models from the scratch, it will provide you a set of AI services which are pre-trained and ready to use. And it is also providing you a knowledge mining solution called AI search. Means if you want to extract the data from various data sources like PDF documents or databases or some other data sources, and you want to do the intelligent searching on the data. So you know that reading the data from the text documents will be very difficult. You have to go and find the data from the proper location. But if you use the AI search service, it can do a semantic search or a keyword search and can give you the results from the data source. So you can even integrate some AI solutions while extracting the data. For example, if your data is located in a PDF document, suppose if it is a 100-page PDF document, so we know that reading the data and identifying a point from the PDF document is very difficult. So what we can do, we can use the AI search service which can extract the PDF data and put inside a index. So index is a storage place. You can simply say a storage table kind of thing. So it can extract the data from the documents and put inside the index. But while extracting and indexing the data, it can even use some AI services like image analysis, text translation, entity recognition, or key phrase extraction. So that kind of AI functionalities you can use while extracting the data and before storing into the indexes. Once the index is ready with your data, you can just go and make queries to this data. For example, if I have to search for a particular word or a particular sentence, you can provide that in the search query, and the search service will go and return the answer from the index. So there is a dedicated module in AI 102 which talks about the AI search service. And today we are not covering that because of the time constraint. But if you join the AI 102 course, we'll discuss more about the AI search service and we'll understand how to create and configure the search services. So primarily, if you want to consume this AI services from Azure, you need to create an Azure subscription. So first of all, you should have a valid Azure subscription to consume this AI services. And also, you can create the instances of this pre-trained AI services. Like, suppose if you want to use vision services, or you want to use speech services, or you want to use text analysis services, whatever services you want to consume, you can create an instance or account. So that can be a multi-service resource or it can be a single service resource. So what is this single service resources? Suppose uh, we have seen in one of the previous slide that there are different AI services available, means pre-trained AI services like image analysis, face API, custom vision, language translation, speech services, and so on. So if an organization wants to use only the language services, means text related services only, they can go and create a language service resource, which means it will allow you to go and consume only the language related services like a text related services, text translation, text analytics, okay, key phrase extraction, and so on. But if an organization wants to use multiple services, maybe in my AI application, I want to use a text analytics service, a speech recognition service, and a vision service. So, multiple services, if I have to use from various categories, then it is better to use multi-service resource instead of single service. So, in single service, you have to go and create a individual services like a language service separately, vision service separately, and a speech service separately. But in multi-service, you can create a single resource which will give you access to all the type of APIs. But understand one difference. If you want to get individual billing for each type of resource, then you have to create a single service resource. For example, I want to know how much I have spent on language service, or how much I have spent on the speech service, or how much I have spent on the vision service. So if I want to know separate billing, then you have to use a single service resource. But in multi-service resource, it will be a consolidated billing, which means it will give you a total bill amount, but you cannot understand how much I spend for language, how much I spend for vision, how much I spend for speech, because it will give you a total bill only. And also, this single service resource, when you create, it will give you a free tier option. Means for dev and test scenarios, you can use a free tier, so with a limited capabilities only, but still for dev and test scenarios, you will be able to go and use the free tier options. In multi-service resource, you will not get this free tier option. Only the standard tier option is available. And whenever you create an AI service, whether it is a single service account or a multi-service account, you will get an API key and endpoint. Using this API key and endpoint, you can consume this AI services. Let me show you how we can create this. So I'm going to the Azure portal. Inside the Azure portal, I can go and create an AI service so that I can go to this AI services section. This is the dashboard. And here in the left side, you will be able to see various AI services, right? Like OpenAI, AI search, computer vision, face API, custom vision, speech service, language service, translator service, document intelligence, bot services, anomaly detector, content moderator, and so on. So you can see there are a lot of AI services available. If you are planning to use a single service resource, you can choose a particular service. For example, if I want to consume only the language services, I can select a language service and create a instance. So here I can see I'm selecting this language service features, and while creating, it will give you an option to choose from the pricing tiers. Here you can see free option available and a standard option available. Okay, you can even select a region where you want to deploy this resource. But if you want to create a multi-service account, then you have to scroll down, and here is an option for multi-service account. So in this case, once you create a multi-service account, it will give you access to multiple AI services. Like you can using the same endpoint and the key, you can access speech service, language service, and the vision services. For example, if I create, so here I can choose a resource group. I'm just creating a new resource group. Here I can say AI 102 group. Location East US you can keep, or you can use any nearest location like a Central India. And the name, I can say I'm giving the name as Synergetics AI Services. And the pricing tier, there is only one option called the S0, that is standard option is only available. So name should be globally unique. Okay, so you have to keep the name unique. And here you have to accept the terms and conditions and deploy. So it may take a minute to deploy. Okay, you can see this is created. So you can see the endpoint here. This is the endpoint which you can use to consume this service. And there will be a key, authentication key, which you can use to authenticate with the service. So any questions on this? Because this is the fundamental for the AI services, because how to create an AI service on Azure. So we have just tested the multi-service resource. So before that, we have discussed various AI service types available on Azure, like machine learning for building the ML models from scratch, and some pre-trained AI models like language, vision, speech, and generative AI, and AI search service for data mining. And here we have seen how we can create a multi-service or single service resource for consuming this pre-trained AI models. Now, if you have any questions on this, you can unmute yourself and ask before we move into the next topic. Okay, so here I can see a couple of questions in the chat. What is the difference between AI SDK and REST API? Okay, let me explain. So REST API means you will be consuming this AI services directly using an HTTP URL. For example, suppose every HTTP service, sorry, every AI service is accessible using an HTTP URL. You saw the AI endpoint, right? So here, this is the AI service, and you can see there is an AI endpoint. So this is the AI endpoint, right? That is a URL, and there will be an authentication key. Okay, so that's maybe some random key like this. So if you are making an HTTP request directly to this URL using this key. So for that, you can use any HTTP client, like maybe Postman you can use, or Thunder client you can use, or some REST API testing tools you can use. Okay, or from your application, you can directly consume. Like think if you have worked on jQuery, so you can use jQuery Ajax to make the request, okay, for consuming this REST API. So the problem is, suppose if you are consuming it using jQuery, you have to say jQuery.ajax, and then you have to specify the URL and the other parameters. For example, you can say URL equal to, this is what the URL, then headers. Then what are the different headers? So one important header which you have to use, the authorization header. Okay, sorry, OCP APM subscription key. OCP APIM subscription key. And then you have to specify the authentication key. Suppose if this is the authentication key, then you have to specify whether you are using get method or post method. So you can say method equal to post, and then you can specify the data. So for suppose if you're trying to call the text analytics service, for example, text slash analytics service. If I'm just giving the URL like a, if you're planning to consume the text analytics service, then you have to pass the data or text data as the input. So here, hello, how are you? I'm just giving an example. So if you're consuming the API directly using this URLs, then you can say it's a REST API approach. But most of the programmers won't do this, because SDK is one of the best option, because SDK will give you the classes and the functions for consuming the AI services. For example, you can say AI client, you can, or maybe a text analytics client you can use, client equal to new text analytics client of, then here you can specify the endpoint. Endpoint means the URL, the base URL, and the authentication key. Okay, suppose if this is the authentication key, this is not the exact syntax. I'm just writing a rough syntax. So here you can see I'm creating a client object, and then I can say client dot uh, what, analyze text async, and then I can pass the text here like hello, how are you? So this will returns a result, and you can print the result. That's it. So look at that. If you are a developer, you may be mostly like to call using the classes and functions, okay, instead of directly consuming this APIs. But even though you are using the SDK, like classes and functions, this is a SDK usage and this is a REST API usage. So you are ultimately doing the same thing. Here you are directly calling the REST API. Here you are invoking the REST API through a function. So that means when you call the analyze text async function, behind the scene, it is actually making an HTTP request like this. Okay. So that means you don't need to write code for sending the HTTP request directly. So this function will do it in the backend. So that's a difference in REST API and the SDK. I hope that is clear. So SDK is simply the, sorry, SDK is providing the classes and functions for invoking this functionalities. AI language is which a service. So language service is a category of services that is handling the text type of data. For example, language detection, language translation, sentiment analysis. Means suppose if I'm giving a feedback like the movie was not good. So the AI can understand whether it is a positive feedback or a negative feedback. Okay, so that is a sentiment analysis. Or if you are doing key phrase extraction from the sentence, if there are some key phrases that will be extracted, or entity extraction. So if there are some date, time, email, phone number kind of values, it will extract those values using the language service. So language service is a category of service which is used for text data processing. Why we can use AI services? Apart from this, we can use another AI service. See, if you are using the Microsoft AI Cloud or Microsoft Cloud services, it is recommended to use the Azure AI services. But yes, there are many other AI services available in internet which is providing similar functionality. But the thing is, the accuracy of this response may not be that great because Microsoft will be developing the applications and services after uh, different levels of testing and evaluations. So the Azure services performance and accuracy will be very, very high compared to any other services. So if you are an Azure user, I recommend to use this, but there are other services available or AI services available in internet. Some of them may be free, some of them may not be free. Okay. So, so far what we have discussed is what is Azure AI ecosystem, like what is a artificial intelligence we have discussed. It is the AS application or service that is mimicking the human capabilities. And what are the fundamental things for AI? So there is a data science and machine learning because data is important for training the models, and the models are published, and then we are consuming those models using the HTTP URLs. In Azure, we have different AI services available. Suppose if you are planning to consume, sorry, if you are planning to develop a new model, then you can use a service called a machine learning studio or machine learning, which will help you to create the models from the scratch, evaluate them, and deploy them on the Azure cloud. But if you don't want to develop your own model and you want to consume some of the models, then you can use the pre-trained models. It's called AI services or cognitive services, and they are different categories: language category, vision category, speech category, generative AI service, etc. And there are some supporting services or applied AI services like a search service, which is used for data mining solutions. Means if you want to extract the data from various data sources, including the documents, and you want to search on that data, then you can use the AI search service. And we have also discussed how we can create an AI service on Azure. We can create a multi service account or a single service account. So I have showed you an example how to create a multi-service account, and how to get the endpoint and the authentication key. So whenever you want to consume these services, you have to use this endpoint and the authentication key. So this is what we have discussed so far. Now we are moving to the actual topic, our today's topic, which is generative AI. So this is an important module in the AI 102 because today most of the AI developers are using generative AI solutions. So the question is, what is mean by generative AI? So just understand before, because in this we are not giving the fundamentals of Gen AI. So understand the difference between the traditional AI and the Gen AI. So traditional AI services, like the AI services we have discussed so far, like image service, means vision services, language services, or speech services, they are not generating any new data. What they do, we are providing some input data, it will analyze or process and then give you a result. For example, suppose if this is your AI service, consider example, this is a language service. Okay. So what I'm going to do as a user, the user is providing a text input, or maybe I can say, so I'm giving a text data. Okay. So here I'm giving the text is one job. Okay. And what I'm going to do, so I'll provide this text data as an input. So this is the input to the AI model. So this AI model I'm going to use to detect the language of the given text. So what is the language used in the input? So it will return a result and saying, okay, this is a result. It will say, okay, this is French. It is detecting that, okay, this is the language French. This is one example. That means we are providing some data and it returns the result saying, okay, this is the French language. Okay, so now let's take another example. Suppose this is a vision service. Okay, AI service vision. And here what I'm giving is a image. So the image which I have captured from my mobile, so I'm providing as an input and it will tell you, okay, what it found inside the image. Maybe detected faces. So I think in your camera applications, you can see whenever you take the photo, it will automatically draw the rectangle within your photo and you can tag that face, right? You can select that face and give a name for that photo or name for that face. So next time onwards, whenever you take the photo, it will automatically tell you, okay, this is Mr. Sonu, okay, or this is Mr. XYZ. So because your AI service is capable to detect the face. So inside the photo, where the face is coming, that is detected by the AI service. So face detection is one service provided by Vision API. So I'm providing a photo or image as an input and it will tell you the position of the face. Okay, so in XY position, I have found a face. So if there are multiple faces, it will tell you, okay, there are multiple faces I found in this positions. Okay, so another service example, if you consider, Suppose if I'm using the speech service, suppose I am providing an audio as an input. Okay, so I'm providing an audio as an input, means audio file, or maybe from microphone. So this audio I can give from microphone or maybe from a file. So I'm providing as an input. What the speech service is going to do, it will convert that into text. So that is text transcription. I think in YouTube you can see that option, right? Whenever somebody provide a speech, below you can see the timeline, like okay, what they are speaking, it's a text conversion, right? So that can be done by the speech service. So this service is called a TTS. Speech to text. Okay, speech to text. So this is the speech to text, and it's the reverse also available, text to speech also available, TTS. So you are providing a text input and it will generate the audio, and that audio you can play using the speaker, or you can save into a file. Okay, so you can see in all these cases the AI service is not generating anything new. Understand? In all these cases, the AI service is not generating anything new. Instead, it is just accepting the input from the user, process that, and whatever is inside this input, it is just to tell you, okay, I found this, or I found this, or I'm converting this into this. So it is just do some processing. It is not creating anything new. Okay, so this is what the traditional AI services. Okay, but generative AI services, as the name indicates, so generative AI services, what they does, it just accept the command from the user or instruction from the user, what to do. It's called a prompt. Okay, so this is called a prompt. Prompt means what to generate. So we are giving an instruction to the AI service as a prompt. Prompt is the technical word for the input. So it is a text input. We are telling the model, okay, you have to do this, or you have to generate this. So when we give a prompt, this generative AI model, like open AI models, can create a new content. So this is the generated output. It may be the text content, like it can create a blog, it can create a letter, or it can be an article or anything, or it may be some image. Okay. So what the Gen AI service is doing, it is accept an instruction, not the input data. It is just accept an instruction from the user and then generating the result. That is creating a new result. Okay, it's not processing the given input. It's just creating something, means generating something new. That's why this type of models are called Gen AI models or generative AI models. Okay, so any doubts? So guys, are you able to see my screen? Just confirm in the chat. Are you able to see the screen? No? Just resharing. Is it visible now? Okay. So in generative AI services, so how it is different from the other services is, like other AI services, we are providing some input data and it process the data and then give a result. For example, Language service, if you are considering, I'm giving a text and it will tell you, okay, I found this language inside the text. Or I'm providing an image to the vision service. It will tell you, okay, I found these faces inside the image. Or in speech service, we are providing an audio file or audio input. So it will be converting that into text. So these means it is not generating anything new. It is just receiving the input and processing it. But in generative AI models, these are deep learning models. What they do is whenever you provide a text instruction, this text instruction is called a prompt. So prompt means the text command or instruction that you are giving to the AI model. Simply what you say, okay, I want to generate this. Maybe I want to write a letter. I want to write a poem. I want to write a paragraph, or I want to write an article, or I want to draw an image. So it's just a text command or instruction, right? Once the instruction is given, this AI model will create a new thing. That means it is always creating a fresh new item. Okay. So this you can see in your Copilot or Chat GPT as well, right? So you must be using Chat GPT. So you are seeing create a poem about the flowers and birds. See, it's creating a new poem. It's not copying from anywhere. It is creating a new one. Suppose again, if you ask to do the same, it will create another poem. It means every time it will create a new one. It's not going to copy from somewhere. It is always creating or generating a new thing. So, like even Copilot also, because behind the scene, they are using the generative AI models. So, this is Microsoft Copilot. They are using the Azure OpenAI behind the scene. Suppose I can tell, okay, draw an image of a tiger and lion running a race. Yes, you can see generator, but this is looks like a cartoon image. So what I can do is I can tell this model to generate a realistic image, create a realistic image. This is not realistic, but it can go and draw a realistic image. You can see this lion and tiger looks very real, right? So now you can see a lot of AI generated images and videos in internet. Sorry. So you can use generative AI to generate a fresh new content, right? So that is the difference between the traditional AI and the generative AI. Okay. So here the input is called the prompt and the output is called the completion. So prompt and completion. So prompt is the input, or you can say input command. Completion is the output. Okay. Now let's move to the topic. So if you have identified what is generative AI, now the next thing is what we can do with the Gen AI in Azure. Suppose if you are planning to use generative AI services from Azure, you have to deploy an open AI service or open AI resource. So in Azure, uh, since it is providing a variety of AI services, including the traditional models as well as generative AI models, the open AI resources are provided by Microsoft as a part of their service. So actually, OpenAI is a different company. Then the question, then how the OpenAI's models are coming in Microsoft Azure? The reason OpenAI is now acquired or it is partnered with Microsoft. You can say Microsoft and OpenAI are partners. So means simply Microsoft is funding for OpenAI. So OpenAI, even though it is a different company, OpenAI models are available in two flavors. Either you can directly go and consume the OpenAI models, or you can consume the same OpenAI services through the Azure. Okay. So that means you can consume the OpenAI services from the OpenAI website, means you by creating a subscription, or you can consume the same OpenAI services from the Azure platform. So, which means if this is the OpenAI models, for example, this is GPT model, then you have DAL-E, then you have GTS, then you have embeddings, then you have Whisper. So these are some of the models available in OpenAI. Suppose if you are a user who wants to consume this open AI model without Microsoft, means I don't want to consume it through Microsoft. What I can do is you can go to this, you can go and consume it directly from the open AI website. So what that means, this is openai.com website. So you can consume it directly through this. Means you can create a subscription, and that will give you access to all these models. Okay. But if you are a Microsoft Azure user, what we recommend is use the Azure platform, Azure cloud, and through the Azure cloud you can consume them. So there are two ways: either you directly consume from OpenAI website, or you consume it through the Azure cloud. Okay, so same models are available in both ways. Okay, this is your Azure subscription. Okay, so now the question, if I can directly access them, then why I have to use the Azure? Okay, if I can directly go to the OpenAI website, like See, so here you can consume the GPT models, and these are the pricing. Okay, so for that, you have to get a subscription. You have to log in and create a subscription for that. Okay. Second option is through the Azure. You can create a Azure OpenAI. So here you can see this is Azure OpenAI. So through this, you will be able to consume. So what is the difference? So first of all, I mean, I'm just giving you few points. If you are planning it to consume using OpenAI, these are primarily the public services. Okay, means the public endpoints are there. Any user can consume from this URL. Any user can consume from this URL, and there is no network restrictions. Okay, you cannot go and control. Okay, it should be accessible only to my services. Like that, you cannot control this because this is openai.com is a public website. So you can consume it through that public website. So that means user don't have control over the access, model access. But, and also one important thing, this open AI servers may be mostly located in US or nearest places, mostly US locations. So what the problem is, suppose if there are thousands of users consuming this OpenAI services, all the requests will go to the same server, right? Maybe more than one server will be there, but only a limited set of servers will be there. All the users, sorry, all the users request will be going to that servers only. So understand, suppose if this is a user, suppose if it is a user from India, okay, so there's a user from India consuming this services from a US location will be providing latency or create latency. So latency means it will be slow, right? Because from India, if I make a request, it will go to the US server and execute. I'm just assuming that it is in US. I don't know where it is. Anyway, because we don't have control over the deployment because OpenAI has already deployed it somewhere. So from wherever you consume, all the requests will go to that servers. So I'm assuming that it is in US servers. So if from India, if I make a request, this request will go to that US servers. Okay, so there will be a latency while consuming this. But if you are deploying or if you are consuming it via the Azure cloud, what is the benefit is, first of all, you can deploy these models, a separate instance of this model in your own location. For example, if I want to deploy these models in India, I can deploy them India location. This is the India region, and I can deploy them in the India region. So what I can do, instead of consuming from the US servers, now I can go and consume this from the India region. Okay. So that means there will be low latency because my customer is from India and my deployment, my models, AI models are deployed in India region. So because Azure is giving an option for the user, okay, you can deploy in your favorite location. If I'm from US, I can deploy in US. If I'm from Australia, I can deploy in Australia. If I'm from India, I can deploy in India. Any location you can select for deploying these models. That is a first benefit. Secondly, While deploying, you can even deploy this within a network, and you can say, okay, this is accessible only from my selected network IPs. So this is my VNet. So I can protect this models within the VNet so that I can say inside the security group, sorry, if the request is coming from my company address or company's network, then only allow the connection. Otherwise, block here. So we can say, okay, the request which is coming from a particular network range or network IP, that is allowed. Rest of the connections are blocked. So it will give you more security, more control over the access, right? Because I can say that my services need to be secured so that only from my company IPs the access is allowed to the services. So from my home network, if I'm trying to connect, it will say that no, no, this is not allowed. Okay, so that way you can control the security. Okay, and very interesting thing is another interesting thing is whenever you deploy your open AI models in Azure, these will be deployed within the Azure compute. Means it will create the Azure servers, and within the Azure servers, these models are deployed. So, you know, Azure virtual machines are very high performance virtual machines so that you don't need to worry about the performance. Okay, it will always highly scalable services. Okay, high availability is always ensured. And also, sorry, okay, so high availability is always ensured for this services. So that means consuming the services from the Azure cloud will give you benefits. First of all, low latency because you can deploy in your favorite location or nearest location. Secondly, they are running inside a Azure infrastructure. Third, you can configure a network so that you can control who can access and who cannot access. Next is this is Microsoft is following the responsible AI principles for any services running inside the Azure. That means Microsoft responsible AI principles we have seen in the previous slides. Microsoft already following that responsible AI principles. That means if the user is sorry, if the user is not consuming the services in a proper way, then it will not give you the access. So that means it will force you to follow the responsible AI principles. Okay, so that are these are the benefits of using the open AI services through the Azure. Okay, but if you don't want to use Azure, then you can directly also consume this from the open AI website. Any questions? Okay. There is a question about RAG and Gen AI. RAG we'll discuss later. It is a technique used in Gen AI. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So let's go and deploy an open AI service in Azure. To deploy an open AI service, you can either use the web user interface or you can use the command line interface. So through the command, you can deploy. Here you can see the command, or you can deploy it through the web user interface. Once it is deployed, you can consume and test these models using the Azure AI Studio. The AI Studio is now renamed to AI Foundry. Okay. So if I have to consume the AI models, means OpenAI models, you have to do the deployments. There are different models available like GPT-4, GPT-3, embeddings, and a DAL-E. These are some of the models available. Okay, it's not listed all the models. So using the Azure AI Studio or AI Foundry, you can deploy whatever model you like. For example, if I want to deploy a GPT-4 model, you can deploy that. Or if I want to deploy a GPT-3 model, you can do that. So let me show you that. Just give me a minute. Okay, so let me go to the Azure portal and I'm going to this Azure AI services. Okay, sorry. So let's continue. So if I have to create an open AI service, I'm going to the Azure AI services list. Here you can see the Azure Open AI. Click on this create. I'm creating the Open AI. So let me check whether it is enabled in my subscription. Is to US. So one important thing, Open AI is not enabled in all the Azure subscriptions by default. You have to enable it separately by submitting a form. So this is not my subscription. So I need to verify whether this has the OpenAI enabled. So let me give a name. Let's wait for the OpenAI service to complete the deployment. Okay, you can see the OpenAI service is deployed. Now I can go to the AI Foundry portal. So you can see this is the Azure AI Foundry. You can click on this. It will take you to the Azure AI Foundry. portal. Okay, so this is the Azure AI Foundry. Let me change the themes to light. Okay, so here you can see the Azure AI Foundry slash the Azure Open AI Service. Means this is the Azure AI Studio for the Azure Open AI Service. Now you can see at the bottom there are there is a section called the deployments. Deployments means if I have to consume the GPT model, or I have to consume the DAL-E model, or I have to consume the embeddings model, whatever model you have to consume, you have to deploy that first. Here you can see the first option, deploy a base model. So when you select this, it will show you the list of available OpenAI models and their versions. In say the O1 preview, O1 mini, GPT-4o real time, GPT-4o, GPT-4o mini, text embeddings 3 large, text embeddings 3 small, TTS, text to speech, Whisper, DAL E2, DAL E3. And you can see these are some means GPT 3.5 Turbo. Okay, so these are some of the models available. If I have to use a GPT model, means I'm starting with the previous model, that is GPT 3.5 Turbo 16K. So what is this 16K? I will tell you, but I'm going to deploy this. While deploying, you have to give a name for the deployment. So you have to select a model and you have to specify the uh, name for this deployment. So what I'm doing is, what is the model name? Exact same I'm using for the deployment. So it will not give you a confusion. So from the name of the deployment, I can easily understand which model it is because I'm keeping both the name same. Means deployment name and the model name, I'm keeping it same and I'm deploying. So now you can see GPT 3.5 16K is deployed. You can see it is in East US. Here you can see the location. Suppose if I want, I can deploy another model, maybe GPT-4o mini. Okay, this also I can deploy. I'll keep the same name here, deploy. Then I can deploy which model you want to consume. Deploy a DAL-E model. DAL-E is for image generation. So I'll select that. So I have deployed three models. Okay. Three models I have deployed in this location. But understand, deploying the models will not cost you anything. Means you don't need to pay anything for deploying these models. So whenever you consume these models, then you have to pay. For example, if you are generating a text or if you are generating an image, then you have to pay. Okay. So deploying this model does not cost you. So what I can do, I'm going to test this models. So I'm just going to try whether these models are working or not. So for testing these models, we have an option called a playground. Can you see playground? So here we have different playgrounds like a chat playground, assistant playground, a real-time audio playground, images playground, completions playground, and so on. So chat playground is the one which can be used for testing the chat models like GPT models. So if I have to test one of the GPT model, like I have two GPT models, like one is the older version, that is GPT 3.5. Another one is the new version, that is GPT 4. Yes. If I have to test GPT 3.5, I'll select it. And here we can provide a system message, means what the model has to do. That means what is its duty. Okay, you are telling the model, okay, you are a programmer, so you have to generate the code for the users questions. Or you can say, okay, you have to behave like a teacher and you have to answer all the students questions. Or you can say, okay, you are an actor or comedy actor, so you have to answer all the questions in a funny way. Okay, so that means you are using this system message to set the behavior or persona of your model. So you can tell the model how to act. Okay, so here this is a general information. You can say you are an AI assistant that helps people to find information. It's very simple. So I can ask a question, something like when the first cricket World Cup uh, okay, played. I'm just asking. Okay, so you can see it is answering. The first cricket World Cup is played in 1975. It is hosted by England. Okay, from this date to this date. Okay, simple. So this is a question and answer. So I'm asking a question and I'm getting a answer for that. And I can use it for text generations. For example, okay, create a simple paragraph about maybe AI services on Azure. See, it is creating a paragraph. Okay, so that means it can do the text generation. So it can answer my questions. It can do the text generation. Okay, so like this, you can, whatever you want, you can ask this model. Okay, so you can try with the GPT-4 model. Okay, and you can start a new session and you can ask the same question or you can ask a different question. Okay, which is the favorite sport in the world? See, it's giving an answer, right? So you can use any GPT model to generate the text responses. But if you want to try with the images, you can go to the image playground. There's the images playground, and you have to use a DAL-E model. So DAL-E 3 I can use, and here I can give a prompt. Prompt means what? What the model has to do. You can give that instruction, like a create a realistic image of a ship sailing in a in an ocean. It is very cloudy and mm, dark. Mm. Sun is visible lightly. Okay. Mm. Heavy storms are appearing in the ocean. So this is the image description. So I'm describing the image that it has to create a ship sailing in the ocean. It's very cloudy and dark. Okay, sun is also visible, but very lightly. Then the heavy storms in the ocean. Let's see whether it is able to generate. See, this is the image which is generated. If I use the same prompt, once again, it may generate a different image because every time it will create a new image. See, this is another image, right? So whatever you want to generate, you can provide as a prompt. So the model is able to do that. So here DAL-E model is used for generating the image. Then GPT models are used for generating the text content. Okay, is that clear? What is the purpose of the models? If you are understanding, please give a thumb so that I can go ahead. Okay, great. Okay, so far what we have discussed is what are the different generative AI models, and we have tested couple of models here like a GPT-4, GPT-3, and a DAL-E, and we have tested that inside the playground. So inside the playground, we have an option for trying out these. Okay, and another important thing is the system message. If you remember, I said that we can use this system message to set the behavior of your AI model, right? For example, I'm saying you are an AI assistant that answers the questions in a funny way. You are a comedy actor in Hollywood. Okay. So I'm just setting its a behavior and then save. Now I'm going to ask the same question. See how it answers now. See, the way of answering is different. Ah, the favorite sports in the world. The that would be watching other people play sports while eating snacks. It's the only sport where you can burn calories by cheering from your couch and still end up with a nacho cheese on your shirt, right? So you can see it's answering in a funny way. Okay, so here giving the answer also, it's definitely soccer. Okay, so it's giving the answer, but here you can see it's a professional answer, but here it is a funny way it is answering. So another behavior I can set is a programmer. You are an AI developer who writes code for uh, develop code in C sharp. Okay, you need to help developers to write code in C sharp. So here I can say I'm asking, I want to know how binary search works. It's just a general question. I'm not asking the model to create a code. I'm just saying how the binary search works. So you can see the C sharp code for binary search is generated. Okay. So whatever I ask, it will assume that, okay, I'm expecting the answer as a C sharp program. So it will be explaining and generating the code. Okay. So what is the importance of this system message? You can set the behavior of this AI model. Okay. And also you can use to instruct the model what to do and what not to do. Okay. So if I'm just giving, I'm updating the prompt. If any security related questions or any organization related questions or finance related questions comes, respond with the message, I cannot answer your such questions. So I'm telling the model, suppose if I'm asking something else which is not related to program, then it has to answer like this. So here I'm going to ask, suppose how to mm, perform quick sort. So this is a quick sort example generated, right? Fine. Next question I'm asking, what are the different security rules applied on the organization's firewall? Okay. It simply says, I cannot answer such questions. See, it understand that it is a question related to the security, so that it simply say what I said. Okay, if something comes like that, you have to answer like this. Or if I'm asking another question, which investment plan is good for saving money for future? See, it's again saying the same answer because I have clearly mentioned what it should not answer, right? So that means the system message is used to set the behavior of the model, and also we can tell the model what to do and what it should not do. Okay, is that clear? What is system message? Okay, so now before going ahead, we will take a 10-15 minutes break. So after the break, we will continue how to use Gen AI for implementing the AI solutions in our applications. So let's take a 15 minutes break. Let's go for it.
Hello guys, I already shared a learning achievement badge on chatbox. Please don't forget to redeem your badge. We already mentioned the step on chatbox. You just have to follow the step and you will get the activated badge. If you have any problem while redeeming your badge, just let me know on chatbox. We will there.
Hello, all are back. Can we continue? Okay, I got the update from two members. What about others? All of you are back? Okay. Okay, so let's continue. The next important topic which we have to discuss is prompt engineering. So, what is this prompt engineering? So, what is prompt? That I have already explained to all of you, and how we can write the prompts and generate the responses. So, prompt engineering is a technique of writing effective prompt for generating the uh, answers, very relevant answers or accurate answers. Because for every prompt, generative AI will give you the answer. But the question is whether this answer is relevant. Is that accurate? That is the question. So if it is giving some wrong answer, we cannot accept that. So if we are expecting a particular type of answer, then the model has to generate that. Okay. So what are the different techniques we can apply for writing a good prompt? Because a prompt is always affecting the responses. For example, so consider that I'm a trainer and I'm going to conduct a session for a team of developers, front-end developers. And these front-end developers are already working on Angular. Okay, that means they know the fundamentals of Angular, or they are already building the applications in Angular. But now, why they are asking for the Angular training again is because there are some advanced topics which they don't know. Okay, so in every technology, there will be some complex and advanced technologies. So these developers are already know Angular, but they don't know the advanced topics. So what they are asking me to conduct a training, and after the training, I want to evaluate these people whether they have all actually learned this or not. So how I can do the evaluation, how I can verify whether they have learned it or not. I can do an assessment, right? Assessment means I can do an exam, like the MCQ or exam or something like that. So my first requirement is create an MCQ question covering all the topics that I am going to teach in the session, because the I'm going to teach the advanced topics only, not the basic topics. I'm teaching the advanced topics only. and I want to create a maybe a 10, 15, 20 questions for assessing them after the training. So I don't want to go and write the questions or create the questions manually. So for that, I can use ChatGPT or some other tool for that. So what I'm going to ask ChatGPT is, so look at the prompt, what I'm writing. So create an Angular MCQ. Okay, you can say create a 10 Angular MCQ questions with the answers. Simple. So I want to create a 10 questions with answers, and you can see it is generating the questions with the answers. So you can see it is creating five basic questions, then three intermediate questions, and two difficult questions. Means advanced questions. Means difficulty level is already set. But when I gone through this questions which is generated, I have identified that these questions are not related to the topic which I am teaching. Because you can see it's a question. The first question is, what is Angular primarily used for? Which means what is the use of Angular? So do you think a person who is already know Angular, do we need to ask this question to them? Or those who are already developing Angular projects, do we need to ask a question which command is used to create an Angular project? So they are already creating and developing projects. So my questions are not relevant. Yes, it is generating, but it is not accurate or relevant question because these are basic topics only covered here. Then what I have to do? I have to go and modify the prompt to clearly specify what has to be included in the questions. So I can say create questions from advanced topics such as routing, schematics, library, root guard, interceptors, maybe RxJS, NGRX, etc. So that means I want the questions from this topics. And also you saw it is creating five easy question, three medium level question and two advanced questions. But I want to okay, generate four easy, four medium, and two hard level questions. So now this is covering my requirement. I'm just going to rerun this prompt and see what answer is coming. So you can see the questions are based on the advanced topics like routing, RxJS, then Angular library, the interceptor, okay, lazy loading, okay, guard services, okay, injectable services, okay, and NGRX, so and so. So that means this is more relevant answer, okay, and you can see it is creating 4 plus 4 plus 2, that is 10 questions, which means now the generated answer is relevant, right, for my requirement. Previously also it was generating, but it is not required. Okay, it is not relevant. So what I did is I modified the prompt and rerun so that it is generating the relevant answer. So what I have modified inside the prompt, I have include the main instruction and the supporting instructions. You can see this is the main instruction. So create 10 MCQ questions. So this is a main instruction. But I'm giving some supporting information like create the questions based on this topics, right? So this is a supporting information. So while creating a prompt, what are the things I can use or what are the techniques I can use to improve the accuracy and relevancy of the response? That we are going to learn in the prompt engineering. So if you look at this, some of the prompt engineering techniques, like so what is prompt engineering? I have already explained. That is to maximize the relevancy and accuracy of the completion. So the first technique is providing clear instructions. So look at that. An example they are providing, write a product description for a new water bottle. So means you are asking the model to create a product description. But you are not telling anything about this bottle's features. So it assumes something and create a description. So you can see this prompt is very simple and it is not explaining what are the different features of this water bottle. So it simply use its knowledge or its pre-trained knowledge to generate the answer. But if you see in the right side, we have rewritten this prompt. Can you see? Write a product description for a new water bottle that is 100% recycled. Be sure to include that it comes in natural colors with no dyes, and each purchase remove 10 pounds of plastic from our oceans. So that means it is clearly saying what to write, means a product description need to be created and what are the different features of this water bottle. So what benefit we will get while purchasing this. Okay. So covering these points, it is creating a product description. So what do you think? Which one is more suitable? The first one or the second one? Which is the more suitable product description? You can easily understand it is means the second one is more relevant. So here what I did is I am providing very clear instruction to the model so that it can generate a very accurate and relevant answer. Second thing, whenever you write the prompt, what are the different things we can include inside it? So there are different things we can include like a primary, supporting, and grounding contents. So what is primary content, what is supporting content, and what is grounding content? So look at that. When we provide an instruction is the command. Okay, you are telling, okay, what to do. But for doing that operation, we may need some text or we may need some data. So that is mandatory. That is called primary content. Okay. So for separating the instruction and the primary content, we can use section marker. So section marker can be three hyphens, which can be used to separate the instruction and the primary content or supporting content or grounding content. For example, so here I'm going to the chat GPT because I think maybe some of you must have used the chat GPT. So I'm using the chat GPT as an example. So here I'm giving an instruction translate the text to German. Okay, this is my instruction. Okay, I'm just so my prompt is now containing the instruction. Now I'm pressing enter. Now the question is, where is the text? So you are telling me to translate, but what I have to translate? So that means providing only the instruction may not work sometimes. Okay, so sometimes you have to provide some mandatory content. For example, like while creating a prompt like this, translate below text to German. And then, so this is the instruction. So then I can provide a three hyphen. So this is a section marker. And below, I'm saying, hello, friends, how are you? So this is the content. So that means without this content, there is no use of this prompt, right? So that means only giving the instruction will not help you. So you have to provide this text. Okay, so now I'm using this. See, this text is now converted into German. Okay, so that means if an instructions to be handled properly, we need some text to be provided properly. Okay, so without this text, there will be no proper answer. So that is called the primary content. So I can say this is primary content, and this is the instruction. Okay, now the second is supporting content. So what is this supporting content? So if you remember in my example of Angular question, I have provided some supporting information. What are the things to include, right? So similarly, I'm just giving a prompt. For example, let's take a next example. Create a blog about artificial, about the below topic. So I'm just giving with the primary content or without primary content you can use. So this is the instruction. Okay. And here I can say artificial intelligence. So this you can provide in the instruction itself, like create a blog about artificial intelligence. But I'm just separating this. This is the instruction and this is the primary content. Now, see what happens. You can see it is creating a blog about artificial intelligence and it is covering the points like what is artificial intelligence, what is type of AIs, that is narrow AI, general AI, and the different components like machine learning, deep learning, NLP, computer vision, applications of AI, where it is used, then ethical considerations, that is a responsible AI, okay, and something. So you can see it is not covering the advanced concepts of AI like RAG or fine tuning, etc. So you can see it is satisfying my requirement, means my prompt is satisfying my requirement, means it is creating a blog. But what I am expecting is the blog should cover some advanced concepts, not only the basic information, some advanced concepts which is part of the AI. So, what I can do is I can provide some additional informations like cover the topics like RAG, deep learning models, like transformers, VAE, GAM, then concepts of RAG, fine tuning, etc. So that now you can see, even if I'm providing only the first two, it is generating the block properly. But my expectation is it has to cover some advanced topics. So this I'm giving as a supporting content. So look at that. By looking in this, it will understand, okay, when I write the artificial intelligence blog, I have to cover these concepts. So without this also it works. It's not mandatory. But if you provide this additional information or supporting information, it will create more accurate informations. Look at that. See, I'm going to create a blog, maybe a new chat again to start. See, it is talking about Gen AI, transformers, VAEs, GAN, then what is RAG, what is fine tuning, and so and so, right? So that means look at the difference between the previous blog and this blog. So this blog is covering some advanced features of Gen AI or artificial intelligence, right? So that means this is more relevant than the previous answer. So here you can say this is a supporting content because it's optional. Without this also it is able to generate. Okay. Now the third is grounding content. Okay. So grounding content means what? Okay. Let me ask a question. Tell me about Shivam, who is working in, or maybe tell me about the technologies uh, Shivam is working on, who is an employee, or maybe I'm just, okay, this is. So I just asking, tell me about the technologies Shivam is working. So question is, who is Shivam? How the GPT know about who is Shivam and where he is working? What are the technologies he is working on? Let's ask this question. Can you see? It's tell you that I don't have information about the technologies Shivam is currently working with. Means I don't know who is Shivam and where he is working, what are the technologies he is working. Then if you ask me some personal informations, or if you ask me some informations about the organization's internal informations, I cannot answer. So for example, here if I'm asking, okay, so who is the manager in, or who is the manager who leads the technology in Synergetics, if I ask a question, it cannot answer. So let me try. Who leads the ETT technologies in Synergetics? So Synergetics is an IT company that it knows from internet, because the ChatGPT will search in internet and it will understand Synergetics is a company. But who is leading the ETT technologies? Okay, it's generating some random answers. Okay, I think there is no answer. There's no answers generated because it don't know about the answer. So the problem here is I am asking something to the model, AI model, but the AI model don't know about that. Then how it will answer? So there are two approaches to bring the answers. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Like suppose you are going for an exam. Suppose tomorrow you have an exam. Okay. And you have two options. Either you can learn all the topics using some textbooks or some PDF or something, right? So suppose tomorrow is the exam. Today you can learn all the concepts and keep all the informations in your memory. And whenever you attend the exam, if there is a question comes, you can easily answer this, right? Or maybe suppose you must have attended the Viva. So Viva, what do? You will be preparing for Viva, right? So after your course is completed, there will be a Viva. So when you prepare for Viva, you will learn all the topics and keep the informations in your memory. And whenever the instructor or interviewer ask, okay, about a particular topic, you will answer from your memory. Means because your brain is now updated. So, okay, so till yesterday you don't know that topics, but yesterday you have learned that topic, and then you are appearing for the Viva. So whenever somebody asks a question, you can answer it, right? Second option is a open book exam. Okay, for example, I can tell you, okay, so you have to now appear for Viva, but it is an open book, which means whenever I ask a question, you can go to the book, find the answer, and then tell. There is no need to remember and keep that information in your memory. That means you don't need to update your brain. You just need to refer some book and answer. So both the ways you are answering. Either you are learning and keeping all the informations in your memory and then answering. Second is you are instructed to use a book or reference book. So you can go to the book, find the answer from there, and then answer. Okay. So that are the two approaches even Gen AI is also following. So in Gen AI, there are two approaches for answering the questions. Either means for customizing the models, one is fine tuning. This is what closed book exam. What it means, you have to learn everything and update your brain. Means you are learning everything. Maybe suppose if you have a very big book to cover, so it may take maybe a 3 4 days to cover all the book. Okay, to learn all the books, and you keep your brain updated, right? That is the same process here also in fine tuning, in which you will be retrain the model. All the models are already trained with some internet data, but you retrain, means you again retrain the model with some specific set of data. Maybe you have to answer the questions about your company and employees. So you will provide the company data to the model, and you will tell the model, okay, you learned this, and you will train the model. Okay. But the problem is, as I mentioned, suppose if I'm giving you a big text and telling you, okay, you have to learn the complete book, you will take some days, right? Maybe 3 days, 4 days, or a week to cover that complete text. So, similarly, here also, it takes time to complete the training, maybe days or months or maybe years also. Okay, so that means you have to train the model with the new data, and it may take some days or months or years, depends on the amount of data to train. Second thing, it requires high performance compute like a GPU based machines. Okay, So that means it is a time consuming process because we cannot predict how much time it takes. Maybe it takes some days or months or hours to complete this process. And it also requires a very high performance compute because retraining the model is very time consuming process. Okay. So no organizations will spend the time for fine tuning because why we have to update. Maybe today you are updating with some data, maybe after 1 month or after 1 week or after 1 month some new data comes. Will you retrain again? Because each time when you retrain it takes a week. So today you are retraining, so it will finish after 5 days. So by the time some new data comes, so will you retrain again? No. So retraining will takes time. So fine tuning is suitable when you have a data which is not updating very frequently. Okay, which is not updating frequently. But what is the benefit of fine tuning is it will generate the answers very quickly because once the model is trained, like how you learned, if you know the answer and if that answer is in your memory, you can easily answer, right? Without referring a book, you can easily answer. Okay, so this is fast in answering queries. Second approach is RAG. RAG means retrieval augmented generation, which means we are telling the model, okay, you don't need to update, you don't need to retrain. So I'm giving you some data. Okay, you just go and look inside the data, search the answer, and then you generate your answers based on that. Like I'm giving a book to the student and saying, okay, now whenever I ask a question, you go to the book and then find the answer and then answer it. It's an open book exam. That means model is not retrained, which means updated. It's not updated. Okay. It is easy to set up. Okay. Because what it has to answer, that we will provide as a grounding content. Okay. So the context information is provided as a grounding content. Okay. Model is going to use this grounding content to answer the questions. So don't worry, I'll give you a simple example. So here I have asked, okay, a question. Tell me about the technologies that Shivam is working, right? This is the prompt I have asked. And I got the answer that I don't know anything about Shivam or where he is working, what he is working. So now what I'm going to do, I have some information about Shivam. So Shivam is an IT professional who works in this company for last 13 years. He started his career as a junior developer, developing C++ codes and so and so. And now he is working as an assistant manager in Bystream. He is leading the entire emerging technology requirements for the company. He is currently working on the Azure and AWS services, generative AI technologies, and open source databases. He is residing in Andheri, Mumbai from last 3 years. He based out of Bengaluru and his family is now staying with him. Means I'm giving some informations about Shiva. Now, what I'm going to do, okay, answer the user questions based on the grounding content provided below. So I'm telling the model, do not answer from your memory. Answer based on the content which I am giving below. Okay. So this is the context or grounding content. And here is my prompt. Look at that. What is my prompt? I removed it. Okay. Which of the technologies Shivam is working on? So this is the question. So look at that. Now I am telling the model give the answers based on this content. Okay. So this is like an open book. I'm not telling the model to learn about Shivam. I'm telling, okay, I am providing you the complete information. Find the proper answer. You can see I'm asking the question here. See, now it is saying Shivam is working on Azure and AWS services, generative AI technologies, and open source databases. Okay. Where he is staying. Shivam is staying in Andheri, Mumbai, because I have already provided the context data. Now all my questions will be answered based on that. How many years of experience he has? See, all the answers are coming correctly, but the model don't know anything about Shivam. It is always using the information that I am providing, okay, and then answering based off that. So if I ask a question that, okay, to whom Shivam is reporting, it cannot answer because it is not mentioned here. Okay, tell me to whom Shivam is reporting to. Okay, see, the provided information does not specify Xiaomi is reporting to. See, it simply says, no, I don't know, because the information that you have given to me does not contain that answer. Suppose if I'm giving you a text and I'm telling you, okay, whenever I ask a question, you can go to the text and find the answer and tell me. But if I'm asking a question which is out of text, then it will tell you, sir, this answer is not there in the text. That's a simple answer, right? So this is the difference between RAG and the fine tuning. So fine tuning means you will be retraining the model with the new data, but it's a time consuming process and it requires heavy compute, and uh, it's a faster one because it does not require a searching because it can easily answer from the memory. But RAG, that is retrieval augmented generation, it is answering all the questions based on the context data provided. But now the question is, this context data I'm providing as a grounding content. But problem here is, today I'm asking about Shivam. Fine. But what if I'm asking about some other employee, maybe Lakshman? So, okay, tell me about Lakshman, where he is working, what he is doing. See, can it answer? Do you think the model is able to answer that? No, because I am providing the information about only one employee, right? Suppose if I'm asking about another employee, it cannot answer. Okay. So now what is the solution? So there is the RAG concept comes. So what is RAG? Yeah, RAG means finding the answer from some data source and then giving the answer. That's it. But how that is happening? I'll tell you. Suppose I have some PDF documents. These PDF documents contains the employee's information. For example, this is Shivam's profile. This is Shivam's profile. Then I have Lakshman's profile. Okay. Then I have some other employee, maybe Mahesh profile. Mahesh profile. Like this, there are a lot of employees profiles I have in PDF format. Okay. So I'm just putting dot dot dot. So if there are 100 employees, there are 100 PDFs. Okay, so these PDFs I have stored somewhere. Maybe this is the employee's information, which I have stored somewhere. And now what I am expecting is whenever I ask a question to this model, Gen AI model or GPT model, this model has to go and answer the questions based on this PDF, PDF data. Okay, so that means it has to answer all the questions based on this data I have. But there is a problem. Unfortunately, these are the PDFs located in my storage, which the model cannot go and directly find. So what we do is, and another thing is, model cannot directly read the text data. So instead of that, what we do is we will use a platform or service like maybe LangChain or semantic kernel or even Azure AI Studio. So we can use Azure AI Studio, or, or I can use LangChain or semantic kernel, etc. Or maybe I can use prompt flow. So different things I can use. So this is a framework or tool. So this tool's duty is what? This tool's duty is read the data from this PDF, convert into embeddings. Embeddings means it's a numeric representation of your data and it has to be stored in a database. Look at that. This database is not a normal relational database, it's a special type of database called a vector DB. It's a vector database. Okay, it can be MongoDB, or it can be Azure AI Search, or it can be Pinecone, it can be Milvus, it can be Cosmos DB, anything. Azure AI Search or MongoDB or Cosmos DB or PostgreSQL with the PG vector, then Pinecone or Milvus or Fias or Chroma. So there are different databases. Some of them are in-memory database, some of them are persistent database, whatever it is. So this database is called a vector DB. So what is vector? Vector is a array of numbers. Okay. So what we want to do is we have to convert this text data into number format and store inside this. So for that, we use an embeddings model. So you saw OpenAI is providing an embeddings model. So what is the use of this embeddings model is it will read this text using some document loaders. So here document loader can be a PDF loader. There's a Python library. So this PDF loader is a Python library. I'm just giving an example because our data is in PDF. So I'm using the LangChain or Azure AI service or maybe a semantic kernel. So what it does is it read this data from all the PDF documents. Okay. Then after this data is loaded using this PDF loader, it will split the data into small pieces. There is a chunking library. Chunking library means it will be splitting the data into small equal sized chunks. Chunks means pieces. Chunks, which means it is splitting the data into small pieces. So it is extracting the data from PDF, then converting that into small pieces, that is called chunks, and then passing to the embedding model. This embedding model is converting that into numeric data and store that information into vector data. Okay, so whatever employees data or whatever data you want to use with your AI model, you have to read. It may be coming from a website, it may be coming from a PDF, it may be coming from a database, or it may be coming from a CSV file, anywhere. So I'm taking an example of PDF. So from the PDF, I'm loading the data and splitting that into chunks and converting that into embeddings and storing into vector DB. This is the first stage, because if the model wants to answer the questions, all your data should be in the vector database. Okay, so this is the vectorization process. Okay, so if you say, Hmm. So here you can see, can you see, you have to first load your data, split the data into chunks, that is small pieces, then convert that into embeddings. Embeddings means this numeric vectors, and then store that data into the vector database. So now all my data is in the vector database. Okay, so this phase is done. Now what is the next phase? That is the RAG process. RAG means whenever a user is asking for some data, suppose I have a chat window. This is the chat window. So using the chat window, I'm providing a query. Okay. So whenever I provide a query, this query will go to my AI application. So here is my AI framework. Okay, I think I already have this one. So this AI application is created using AI Studio or LangChain or semantic kernel. It's a platform, simple. Okay, so what it does, okay, it will go and search the data into the vector database for finding the matching answer. For example, I have this information about the employees stored somewhere. So this is my vector DB. Here, the vector database already contains all the informations. Now what it does, I have the query. So this is the embeddings model. Okay. So whenever I provide a query, this is my query, that is question. Okay. So this question will be sent to the vector database. Okay. So this is called a search. What search? Similarity search. So I'm searching for the data inside the vector database, and it will find some matching answers. Okay, this pages, it is talking about Mr. Shivam, or in this pages it is talking about Lakshman, or in this pages it is talking about Mahesh. So whatever it is, so inside the database I have all the data. So when I do a similarity search, it will return some matching documents. So here, this is the matching documents or answers. Okay, so this is the matching documents. Okay, so this documents will contains the information about that particular user. Suppose if my question is about, okay, tell me about Shivam. So it will goes to embeddings model. Embeddings model convert the question into number and search inside the database. So it will search with that numbers and find the matching answers and return that text content. Now, what is this LangChain or semantic kernel or AI Studio is doing? It uses the AI model. This is the GPT model, GPT-4 or GPT-3, whatever is the model. So what it does, it is using this actual prompt. This is the actual prompt plus this matching documents. Okay, so this is my instruction. You remember in prompt there is an instruction plus there is a grounding content. So I have the instruction now, which is my question, and I have a grounding content, which is coming from this vector database. Now, based on this grounding content, the GPT is generating the answer and sending back to the user. So it is sending the response. That's it. So now what is the benefit is, suppose if I'm asking a question like, tell me about the experience of Mahesh. Okay. So what it does, my query is first going to the embeddings model. Embeddings model will convert that into numbers and go to the vector database and search for wherever it is mentioning about Mahesh. Okay, so all the matching informations, matching text will be returned as a result. So this is the matching documents. These matching documents and the original query, that is the instruction, that is a query, both will go to the GPT. So like this. So now I have the instruction. Okay, this is the instruction and the question. This is the question. And this information is now coming as from where? From vector DB. So from vector DB, it will returns the data based on this question, right? And it will answer. That's it. So this is retrieving the data from where? Vector database. That's why it is a retrieval. So here we are retrieving the matching answers. Retrieval. Retrieval means we are finding and retrieving the matching answers from the vector database. And then augmenting means we are passing the matching documents and the instruction, that is the prompt, to the GPT model. That is the augmentation or augmented generation. So that's why it is called, this technology is called retrieval augmented generation. So here is retrieving the matching documents, and this matching documents is used as a grounding content for generating the answers. That's why it is called a augmented generation. So this, you, for doing this you need to develop an application either using code, that is LangChain or semantic kernel, or you can directly test this in the AI Studio. And I remember somebody has asked a question that why there is a add your data section, right? This is for RAG. So here you can add your own custom data, that is your vector data you can put. So I said this vector data can be from Azure AI Search or from MongoDB or from Cosmos DB or some other. Okay. So in Chat Playground, it is directly supporting which one? The AI search. Can you see? AI search is supported, Cosmos DB supported, Elasticsearch is supported. Okay. Even if you use upload files or web URL, it internally use the AI search only. Okay, I'll show you that example. Okay. Any questions? But you have to first prepare the vector data. Okay, if you do manually, okay, through the playground, if you do, this will happen automatically. But once the vector data, so in our case, this vector data is the Azure AI search. Any questions? If you have, please put that in the chat. Can we upload an image as a grounding content? Yes, but you have to use the model which is supporting the image, that is GPT-4, because GPT-4 is a multi-modal model. It will support the image. For example, if you have a doubt, I can tell you. Mhm. Okay. So I said the co-pilot is internally using the GPT, right? So what I'm going to do, I will upload a question, oh sorry, image. This tell me about what is in this image. ChatGPT will also do that. You can try with ChatGPT also. Can you see? The image shows a group of children playing soccer in a grassy field. They are wearing white jerseys with the text Albion Juniors. Okay, is that also visible? Uh, is it visible? Oh, yes. Albion Juniors. Correct. Even it is not that clear, it's still able to read that. See, so this means we are asking a question based on this image. So here image will be used as the grounding content. Okay, any other questions? Are you clear with the concept of RAG? Because somebody has asked a question, what is RAG versus Gen AI? So RAG is a concept used to customize the models in Gen AI. If you understood, can you give a thumb? Okay, only one person understood. What about others? Okay. Okay, so now I'll show you the final demo that how I can use this AI search as a vector storage. Okay, now if I go to my playground, so I'll reset this. Okay, so there's a normal prompt. So here I'm going to ask, okay, about some data. For example, consider I'm giving an example that assume that I have a company which is a travel agency and its name is Margis Travels. Okay, so Margis Travels is a travel agency. They are providing various services to its customers. Means if you want to book a flight ticket, or you want to renew your visa, or you want to do currency exchange, or you want to book the hotels in different cities across the world, then you can use or you can consult Margis Travels, because Margis Travels providing the hotel accommodations in various cities like London, Las Vegas, New York, Dubai. Okay, so if you directly go to the hotel, then you will not get the discount. Okay, so Margis Travel has a tie-up with the hotel, some selected hotels, not all the hotels, some selected hotels. So if you go and tell, okay, I am coming from Margis Travels booking, so then you will get a discount. So I want to know. So I suppose I am a customer. I want to know. I'm planning to go to Dubai. Okay. So I'm asking the Margis Travel. Okay. So what are the different or which of the hotels are provided by you? Because there, I know that in Dubai there are hundreds of hotels, but I want to know which of the hotels has tie up with Margis Travel, so that I can go and book a room there. Okay, so I'm not going to give any additional information. I'm just asking a question. See, I am planning to go or visit Dubai. Okay, I want. to book a hotel there. Can you suggest some good hotels in Dubai? So you can see it is providing the hotels in Dubai, but understand these hotels has no tie-up with Margis Travel. This is general hotel information provided by ChatGPT or provided by the GPT model, right? So that means this is not the information what I am expecting. So what I am expecting is which of the hotels the Margis Travel is offering. Only give me that list. Why it's giving all the list? So what I am understanding is currently this model is not aware about the Margis travel. So I'm asking a question: what are the different services offered by Margis travel? So it may not be able to answer that. Okay. So what I have decided, I have to customize this model. Now for customizing the model, I have two options, right? I have told you there are two options for customizing the model. One is fine tuning and another one is RAG, right? So which one you will prefer, fine tuning or RAG? If you have enough compute and time, then you can go for fine tuning, no problem. But it will take time for training the model. So instantly, if I want to get the result, then I'll go for RAG. Okay, so RAG is the approach I'm going to use. So RAG, if I have to use, I have to have my data located somewhere. Okay, so what I understand, I have some data in the PDF documents. So here, mm, so here is some PDF documents which talks about Margis travel. Okay, so this is Margis travel and what are the different services they offer. Okay, and what are the different cities they provide services. Okay, and you can also see in each city, for example, if I go to Dubai, you can see this is the description about the Dubai and Margis Travel presents Dubai, and this is a image about Burj Khalifa, some attractions, and these are the three hotels they offer: Creek Hotel, Deira Hotel, and Lost City. Okay, maybe if I go to London, there are some other hotels. If you see hotels in London, Buckingham City Hotel, Kensington Hotel, and if I go to New York, I can see some hotels. Like this is a description about New York, and these are some of the hotels in New York. So like this, I have some city informations. Okay, so what I want to do is I want my model has to answer the questions based on this PDF data. Okay, and I don't have time to programmatically do everything, means create the vector database and so on. So in AI Studio, we have an easiest option. So here, what I do is I'll go to this AI, add your data section, and here is an option, add your custom data. So I'm clicking here. From here, I can say my data is currently in the PDF in my local machine. So I have to upload this PDF somewhere and then extract the informations and store into the AI search. So I'll select the option called upload files. Okay, because I have to upload my data somewhere. For uploading the data, I have to have a storage account. Okay, so what I'll do, I don't have any storage account now. So I'll create a new storage account. So I'll click on this, create a new storage account. Storage account name I'm giving as Synergetics AI Storage. Location, I'll use Central India, or maybe East US is fine because my models are deployed in East US. Primary service I want is the blob service. LRS is fine. Next. Anonymous access allowed. So I am creating a storage service. So inside the storage, I'm going to upload the PDF. So let's create that. Okay, you can see the storage is created. So I'm going back here, refresh, and select the storage. Yes, or turn on the course. Oh, it's not possible to do. Okay. Okay, I think I have to assign certain permissions. So I'll go to Azure portal and go to the AI So inside the AI service, I have to assign an identity. It's taking time. Let's do a role assignment. Storage. Maybe a contributor access. Now in the storage also, I have to assign this permission. IAM row. Okay. I forgot to copy. Okay. Precious. Sure. Blob. Storage flow contributor, managed identity. So select the managed identity I have. They require some permission. It may take some time. Okay, so we have to create a search service. Below, you can create the search service and then assign. Okay, we can create a search service also because the vector data is stored inside the search service. I'll use the name Synergetics AI Search. Here it is in East US. Pricing tier is free tier is fine. Okay, search service is also created. Now I can go and refresh. Select the search service. Just turn on this. In order to Azure OpenAI access the storage and for your subscription, your permission is needed. It's taking time. For the search also, then I'll assign search because now they have modified this settings. Now we need to explicitly assign the permissions. Of For the skew, it is not allowed. It's not showing any. Azure OpenAI needs your permission to access the service. We have assigned this permission. Can manage cores on this resource. Okay, then I'll use a different storage. Manually, I'll create a storage then. This problem is because of the permissions. I don't know why it is giving this. Permission is already assigned. Free tier is not supported. By free tier, if we have used. Okay, now it is supporting. The problem is search service free tier is not supported. I don't know why. Because it was working search service with the free tier. Now we'll create a new one with a different. Let me select the basic. I think basic should support. Free also it should support because yeah, day for yesterday only I have demonstrated this for a batch. So it should support that. I don't know why it is giving free tier is not supported. Okay, now it's gone. The error is gone. So here you can see I'm selecting the storage account. Okay, the for uploading the files, and also here is a search service for storing the index data. And what is the index name I'm giving as Margis index. Margis index. And here you can see, so here if I have to add a vector storage, we have to also deploy a vector model, that is embeddings model. So let me deploy an embeddings model also, a text embeddings. This is the embeddings model. So we also need to deploy an embeddings model if I have to do a similarity search. Okay, it's done. I'm just going back. Now I think everything is created. I'm selecting the upload files. From here, I'm selecting my storage account, my selecting my search service, and specifying the index name, Margis index. And here you can select the vector search support. And which is the vector model? This is the vector model, right? Embeddings model, right? So now next, here we have to upload the files. So my files are located in this folder. Let me upload all these files. See, all the files are uploaded. Next, and type of search is a hybrid search, vector and keyword, or hybrid plus semantic. Okay, so now I can go next. Authentication using API key. and review and close. So now it will take some time to do the extraction from the PDF. It will read the data, plus it will divide the data into small chunks and then store into the AI search as a vector data. So it takes maybe few minutes, maybe 1 or 2 minutes it takes. So we can wait for that process to complete. So by the time I think I can update the system message to say that you are an AI assistant that answers questions based on the context provided. Okay, so I'm telling based on the context or grounding content provided, it is going to answer. Yes, you can see the indexing is completed. Or you can see Margis index is created. Now I'm going to ask the question, same question, like I am planning to travel or planning to visit Dubai. Suggest some hotels where I can stay. So I'm telling the model, okay, I'm planning to visit Dubai. So suggest some hotels. Now you can see the answer is coming the same Creek Hotel, Dera Hotel, Lost City Hotel from the Margis data. Can you see? It's coming from the Dubai brochure.pdf. If you look at this Dubai PDF, these are the three hotels, right? So that means instead of giving some general answer, it is now giving the answer based on the data it has. So now I'm asking what are the different services you offer. See, at Margis Travel, we offer a range of services like flight booking, accommodations, transfers, visa, currency exchange, and so on. So it's coming from the Margis travel documents. So that means now my AI model is a custom model. So you can ask you can ask anything about the Margis travel, it or its services, it will be able to answer. Okay. So I hope I answered your question. What is the use of this add your data section? Somebody has asked what is the use of this. So this is used to configure RAG. That means I am using the Azure AI search as the RAG data store, that is vector data store. And inside that there is an index called the Margis index where I have all the data in the vector format. So now whenever I ask a question, it will first go and search inside the database, find the matching answers, and then based on that matching documents, it will be providing the responses. Is that clear? If you have any questions, you can ask here. Because we have done with the session, because this is the last topic in the Gen AI. So if you have any more questions, you can put your questions in the chat. Hello, Archie. Here there is a question. Could you show where the PDF loader and chunks are done? So See, I have already mentioned if you are doing through the AI Studio, you cannot see that process. So chunking is already done by the framework itself, means AI Studio. Behind the scene, it will do that, and we are not aware about that. If you programmatically do, manually, if you do, you can see that. Okay. But when you do it using the AI Studio will do the loading of PDF, chunking, and storing. Everything will automatically does. So we have to just say where is the PDF, where is the AI search, and where is the embeddings model. So using the embedding model, it will read the text, convert into embeddings, and store into the AI search. All will happen automatically. So any other questions? Okay, I don't see any other questions. So Archie, are you there? Yeah. There is a Microsoft Learn course available. I'll share the link for that. So I'm sharing that in the chat. Can you try accessing that, whether it is accessible? Okay, can we see the PDF stored in the storage? Yes. So can you see inside the storage account, it automatically create a container called a file upload hyphen Margis index. And inside it, you can see this PDFs. Okay, any more questions?
Okay, guys, thank you for this session. I already shared feedback form. Please don't forget to fill this feedback form before leaving the session.
Okay, so I think we can wind up the session. There's no more questions. So thank you, everyone. So, if you have any further questions related to the course or other uh, uh, things, you can ask Archie. So, once again, thank you for joining the session and being the session till the last. So, thank you. Have a good day. Bye.